Hello, my name is Angela Burry, and I am a public health consultant here to discuss with you the Hudson Tunnel Project. Whether it is for work, residency, shopping, or tourism, the amount of people traveling into New York City in a single day is more than some other cities may have for the year, thus transportation is a critical element. The North River Tunnel was built in 1903 and is located on the Northeast Corridor, which is the most heavily used passenger rail line in the U.S., both in terms of ridership and service frequency. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy caused massive amounts of salt water to fill the North River Tunnel, which caused extensive structural and electrical damage. Despite efforts of ongoing maintenance to try to restore the tunnel, the damage has continued to progress. At this time, the only way to thoroughly repair this damage is through a comprehensive reconstruction of the tunnel. The objective of the Hudson Tunnel Project is to preserve the functionality of the Amtrak Northeast Corridor and New Jersey Transit commuter services by repairing the North River Tunnel and creating a new two-track Hudson River Tunnel and corresponding railroad infrastructure in New Jersey and New York as depicted in the illustration on the right. Completing this project would allow for the transportation of approximately 750,000 riders every day to continue to use mass transit, with the potential to support more riders. This will save energy, reduce highway congestion, lower accident rates, and cut emissions and pollution as opposed to the no-action alternative. It will also improve the socioeconomic conditions in the Northeast area. Short term, it is estimated that 72,150 jobs would be created throughout the 11-year construction period, which will allow for many members of the population to obtain gainful employment and bring home a paycheck. Long term, it will provide reliable and affordable means of transportation to promote the attraction of living and working in the Northeast. This project has the potential to both temporarily and permanently impact the stormwater flow and wetlands in the area due to ground grading and placement of fill materials, and to negatively impact the wildlife and alter their habitat. This project may also permanently change the runoff flow and wetland hydrology, which would ultimately impact the composition of the surrounding area and possibly the integrity of existing soil and structures nearby. Furthermore, another environmental consequence is the potential that during the construction of the new tunnel, contaminated soil may be unearthed, considering this area has a long history of railway use. This project will preserve, enhance, and expand the number of riders who will be able to use the trains as a means of transportation. This would then improve the safety and security of all transit passengers and transit employees, as well as eventually reducing the quantity of environmental pollutants after construction is completed. Furthermore, as previously discussed, the proposed actions will enhance the socioeconomic status of the Northeast residents, and studies have shown that higher socioeconomic status correlates to a longer life expectancy, less chronic health conditions, and overall better health outcomes. Thus, this would also produce a beneficial health effect for the population. In consequence to the alteration of the stormwater flow and geological disruption, dangerous settlement, seismic conditions, and unstable soils could introduce structural instability to adjacent structures and foundations in the construction zone. All of these possible events are hazardous conditions which may result in minor or serious injuries, and there is also the potential for individuals to be exposed to contaminated groundwater or soil. To address the environmental concerns raised in response to the proposed actions, interventions such as abstaining from construction activities during times when the indigenous wildlife is in a sensitive life cycle state, practicing erosion and sediment controls, and restoration of wetland areas after construction are solutions to mitigate all of the possible negative environmental impacts. To address the health concerns raised in response to the proposed actions, interventions such as adequate project design planning, proper safety measures, erosion control plans, stabilization of soil, installation of water retention systems, or underpinning of potentially affected existing structures are all strategies which have been shown to address these concerns. The possibility of introducing contaminated materials to the water or soil was acknowledged as both an environmental and health threat. Proposed actions to mitigate this include soil and groundwater sampling and in-situ treatment of contaminated soil. Additionally, educating all personnel on proper handling and disposal of contaminated materials and enactment of a project-specific health and safety plan prior to digging would also help to reduce the possibility of this threat occurring. For this case, I had the pleasure of speaking with an EPA scientist, Ms. Lingard Knudsen, who is responsible for reviewing this environmental impact statement. She informed me that in her professional opinion, the proposed action is the only viable option to address the problem at hand, and to quote her directly, There are no true environmental or health concerns to this project that cannot be properly managed through the outlined intervention strategies. After careful review of this project, it is my recommendation that the proposed Hudson Tunnel project is both necessary and should proceed. The long-term environmental and health benefits outweigh the potential adverse effects, and both subject matter experts and peer-reviewed literature support the fact that the mitigation strategies proposed have been found to be effective ways to manage these concerns. Ultimately, the Hudson Tunnel project execution is essential in order to maintain the utility of mass transit and economic stability of the Northeast. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions.